It was a tough week for a couple of Texas baseball teams. In fact, the Longhorns might be in the bottom 10 poll right now. We don't do that, though. This is a ranking of the top 10 teams in college baseball. Now, Texas A&M also slipped from the ranks after a series loss against Mississippi State. So we're into May. We're into the final month of the regular season, and let's go with teams 10 through 6. At number 10, entering our rankings for the first time, Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets sit in a tie for first in the Coastal Division. They've won 8 of their last 9 games to run their record to 33-14. Now, Georgia Tech also has a non-conference series win over Georgia to strengthen their postseason resume. Number 9, Texas Tech. The Red Raiders have closed the gap on Baylor after a series sweep over Oklahoma. Wins in 10 of their last 11 games, including a sweep the weekend before over a ranked Oklahoma State team, has Tech looking like the College World Series team from a year ago and the one that was ranked as high as number 3 in the preseason. One final Big 12 series left. That's in 2 weeks against TCU. At number 8, East Carolina. The American Athletic Conference might be in the midst of a down year, but don't punish the Pirates for beating the teams that are put in front of them. Impressive win streaks, a common trend of this poll, and the Pirates have won 11 of their past 12 games, including a series sweep over the weekend and an always tricky place to play in Cincinnati. Now, a good barometer for ECU comes on Wednesday when they head to Chapel Hill for a midweek game against North Carolina. Number 7, Georgia. Here comes the run on SEC teams. The Bulldogs are 37-12 after a sweep over their rival Florida, where they locked down the Gators to just 6 total runs in a 3-game series. Now, this week stemmed the tide for UGA after dropping 4 in a row to Georgia Tech and Mississippi State last week. Georgia now 16-8 in the SEC and sitting at 2nd in the East behind Vanderbilt with 2 final series against Auburn and Alabama, the 2 bottom dwellers in the SEC West. And number 6, Arkansas. The Razorbacks have an identical 37-12 record, but one less conference loss has them atop the SEC West. Arkansas also has one of the better series wins of the season in hand, a 3-game sweep against Mississippi State. Now, they navigated past Kentucky on the road this weekend and now get LSU at home, where the Razorbacks are 26-5 this year before finishing the season with 3 games at Texas A&M. At number 5, Louisville. A break from the SEC control in the standings to discuss the dominance of the Cardinals. Louisville's 39-9 record is the best overall mark in baseball. They've won 9 straight to sit at an ACC best 18-6 record heading into a road series at Virginia this weekend. But don't sleep on one of the biggest non-conference games of the season tomorrow night when they host Vanderbilt, a team you'll see shortly in this poll. Number 4, Mississippi State. A nearly invincible 28-4 home record has given the Bulldogs a boost this season, and they used that advantage to grind out a series win over Texas A&M. Now, these are 2 of the best pitching staffs in the country, and the final scores of 4-0, 1-0, and 4-3 reflect as such. Up next, a rivalry series at Ole Miss, and then 3 at home against scuffling South Carolina. Number 3, Vanderbilt. Told you they were coming shortly. The Commodores have the 2nd most wins, right behind Louisville, so that game tomorrow should be fascinating. And the Commodores took out an overmatched South Carolina team by setting the tone with 22 runs in the opener last Friday. Vanderbilt's tied with Michigan for the longest active win streak in college baseball with 11 straight victories. They've used that to roll up 3 straight series sweeps of conference opponents. Number 2, Stanford. Now, despite the SEC holding strong throughout the top 10, the Pac-12 owns the top of the poll. A 17-4 conference mark has the Cardinal atop the Pac-12, and although they've been unable to pull off a sweep the past 2 weekends, they have not lost a series since dropping 2 of 3 in early April to UCLA. Which brings us to number 1, the Bruins. A 1-run loss in the series finale to Arizona State snapped an 8-game winning streak, but the Bruins defense has carried them to only 8 losses on the season. UCLA leads the nation in a number of defensive categories and has only allowed 5 runs in a game 1 time since mid-April. And those are the top 10 in college baseball.
NCAA Baseball Power Rankings are brought to you by IHOP Breakfeasts. Order online and save $5.